Hi everyone, it's Rita. I have my Akashic records open, and then I have the records of these two crystals. I was swimming in a hot spring pool, like huge, down in Peru near Cusco. I don't remember the name of it. With David Wolf and some people that were part of a travel group. There's a woman who runs travel trips called Destination Bliss, and they're really amazing. You should check them out. I had taken a class with David Wolf online, and there was an opportunity to do this trip, and I just got angelically led to go. And anytime I have those promptings, I know it's going to be amazing. And so I met a lot of people that are friends with me today from that trip. But anyway, I opened up the records of those two crystals. I was going to tell you more about them. I was sort of told that the whitish one, even though it's not a clear one, that it was phenakite. But I've also kind of been told not to wrap our heads around these names and energies that we associate with these names. And the other one I was looked up, it looked like it was a crystal called epidote, which was all kind of fantastic. Because, like basically what I've learned from my film, I started a film, it's called The Revelation of You. And it's being edited right now by a friend of mine who is part of filming it and in it, whose name is Shaizan Osif. He's head of the film department at a college, and he's actually just been working on his own film, which is an amazingly a true story, beautiful story. So he does a few documentaries, or a couple a year he had been doing, that were heart-centric. And so anyway, we knew we would make a film together, and we've known each other for at least 8 or 9 years now. And his father passed it was like in 2018, I think. My mom passed in 2016, and I'm still connected to my mom. I can ask for a hug from my mom, and my outer layer of my skin will tingle a certain way, and I know it's my mom. So anyway, what they want me to talk about, because I promptly dropped the little quartz crystal and couldn't find it, and I had to promise I wouldn't talk about them, and so I only just kind of wanted you to know why I was sitting out here. So and I'm up in Sedona, Arizona. I'm going to be back and forth a little bit between here and Scottsdale, I think, because I've got another project I'm working on with crystals and grief, and then another one to raise the vibration of a space. So which is all kind of fun, and it's just all kind of unfolding, and that's the best way to have you experience anything in life, is kind of this beautiful unfolding where you're not trying to control everything. So, and we all have aspects of that about ourselves. But anyway, what's really awesome is this week, the prompting to do the film was around a book written by a woman named Melody, called Love is in the Earth. And in that book, she talks about energy fields and crystals and things like that, and mentions that, and that's what prompted me being really curious about what was what was truth. I go down a lot of rabbit holes around what is truth, and so that was the beginning of the film. And I found there's a woman here selling her signature crystals in Sedona, and she had met Melody and stuff, and had a good friend who passed last year who knew Melody really well. So I went and met with her. I spent she was so generous with her time. I think she spent 4 hours with me, and I did buy a couple pieces from her. This is a yellow sapphire, which was part of Melody's signature collection. And she had this piece of phenakite that was gem quality, cut. So that was really fun to look at some of her crystals. She works mainly out of her home and sells online, and I'll try to put a link below for her site, because it's nice. She's got 11,000 pieces. If you can't find something you like there, then she's not selling any moldavite, though. she said that some people can't, like young people can't handle that energy. So Moldavite, I've never been able to really feel Moldavite, but I have felt the phenakite. That's why I got drawn to it. And I'm now playing with tachyon energy, and I'll share more about that. But they really wanted me, to share with you kind of this whole idea around serendipities and letting your life be guided that way. We have these passions and things that speak to us, and we know that when we can like sit in our heart space and feel like we should be making a connection. So whether it's, it's just like something that excites us to want to explore. And so that's whether it's like wanting to, have coffee somewhere and you just really feel drawn to go to that coffee place, or you get drawn to call that friend, or ask that friend about getting together, or go on this website or that website. It may seem really innocuous at the time, but it has the potential to take us into so many great spaces. Now, I'm not saying that happens all the time, or even that the outcomes of those things are positive, because sometimes they're not. Sometimes we get drawn to something and we get into it and then we realize it's really not for us. But in the course of being drawn there, you get more clarification on things that you want to experience more of and things that you don't want to experience more of. So I guess never beat yourself up. I've done that a bunch of times where I kind of beat myself up about attracting certain people into my space or something. And there are so many there's so many layers to all that, and the more we sit in that space of judgment around it or whatever, the more we're going to attract those things to us. So it's really not the ideal place to sit. So it's sort of like when you have those experiences, just kind of turn and try to figure out like what's around you that you can do that would be fun to experience more of. So that's one way of looking at those things. The other thing was and I learned to do this a long time ago, is that you can actually change your past. You can go into a space and invite your angels in and rewrite stories. The last time I saw my grandmother, she was asleep, and I didn't want to wake her, and it would be the last time that I saw her. And I always sort of thought in my head, because I experienced a lot of grief when my grandmother passed. And that's part of this project I'm doing with the crystals, is to help people connect with people who have passed and to help them with grief. So that's a project that's coming, and I'll share more about that. And I'll probably have some of that mixed in and on the website for the film, so that you can access that. But I regretted, and I don't have many regrets in my life, but I regretted not waking her up and telling her that I loved her one more time. And I went back with my angels and I rewrote that. I bent down and I hugged her and I kissed her and I told her how much I loved her. So we can go back and rewrite those. And I think it's really, really helpful to do. With grief work, you shouldn't let grief sneak up on you. You actually should intentionally. This is how I got to places where I could experience people that I've loved that have passed, is every day to think about them and bring up those feelings of emotion and cathartically release them. So if you self-medicate in any way based on what you are perceived losses in your life, then that's something to really think about. And when I say self-medicate, it doesn't mean just drugs and alcohol. It means working a ton of hours. It can mean exercising a lot. Anything we use to push emotion away is considered self-medicating. It's not healthy. It doesn't allow you to experience the thriving and the joy that you came here to experience on this planet, because there's so many opportunities for it. So I just pause right there and think about that. What helped me was intentionally thinking about my grandmother every day, and I would just sob. It was I found out later that we've had many lives together, and it was such a close relationship that it was painful not to have the physical. I've learned how much we're mostly energy, and that energy continues. You know, I can still connect with my mom, and I'll ask for a hug, and the outer layer of my skin will tingle a certain way that's very different than my intuitive tingling skin. You know, your skin is your largest intuitive organ, or intuitive tool, and so pay attention to that. The other thing I'll leave you with is that crystals are not, they kind of tune us. They help us remember what we're capable of. We are crystalline energy. And so pick up, I've got it in my pocket here. I was going to say, pick up some of your favorite crystals. My friend Don recently sent me this, which I'll kind of open the records of. He could feel the energy of this. This helps us stay on task and get excited about our passions. It's really cool, right? Can you see it? I don't know. I don't really know. I get confused on where the camera lens is. Anyway, well, blessings and love to you. It's Reed up in Sedona right now. And I will, maybe I'll open up the records of this. If there's things that you want me to open up the records of, please put them in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, you can subscribe. And if you'd like to be notified of future videos, you just hit the bell and you'll get notified. I trust wherever you are, you're having a great day. You know, enjoy the view here. I'm just hanging out in the backyard, so feel very blessed and appreciative to be here. And I send you abundant love and blessings wherever you are in the world. Take care.